Hello? Hello? Welcome to Free Fazbear's Pizza, a magical place where kids and grown-ups alike, where fantasy and fun come to life.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your BFF Snowy Oreo 663 here, right now. I got to see the FNAF movie. This actually came out like it's real. I've been waiting for this for so many years. Well, who cares what critics think? You came to see me, a movie critic. Huh. Well, thankfully, I'm a FNAF fan first and foremost, so what did I think of it? Well, I loved it. I guess it really depends on if you are a FNAF fan or not. If you're a movie critic who only wants deep morals, complex characters, and a story that's more mainstream or easy to grasp, I'd tell you to fuck off and find something else to watch. This is a movie for the fans, plain and simple. And again, it also doesn't feel like it's overly pandering or just a string of references. There's a real story here that is independent from the games. I hope so. Just here to tell a new tale of this serial killer and possessed robots. I feel like first off, I should say the things I didn't like, because there's not many. Firstly, my biggest issue is Vanessa. I didn't really like her character. She was supposed to be mysterious in a way, but her wildcard personality that constantly shifted this way and that way, coupled with her confusing name for continuity, made her just not great. Really, you could easily do an edit of the script and mostly remove her. The other bigger issue has to do more with the animatronics' motivations and actions, but I'll save that for the spoiler section. Just know I wasn't the biggest fan of that. Minor things I can pick on are some odd editing choices where it feels like they were just pieced together a little weird. I also thought that Mike was a bit of a blank slate, where they could have easily given him more personality other than just guy with traumatic backstory who loves his sister. That's really all I can complain about. I just really enjoyed this one so much. I was giddy the entire time watching, grinning from ear to ear every second. I managed to even get myself a Freddy Fazbear pizza box while I watched, and let me tell you, 13-year-old me would have never believed this moment would ever come. The mystery of what this version of the story would hold is something that kept me engaged. That and the outstanding animatronic and puppet work by the Jim Henson Company. Many of the references were also just crazy good. Simple lines like, "See you on the flip side," or "We're golden," filled me with so much joy. Even smaller ones that are more obscure, like the quick shot of the diner called Sparky's or Chica's Magic Rainbow. It felt like such a love letter to the fan base. I adored it so much. Let me just say that even as I'm writing and recording the script, I can't wipe this stupid smile off my face. I feel like a kid again. And speaking of kids, there were quite a few kids in my theater. I mean, like 5 to 8 years old. During many of the scenes leading up to jump scares of sorts, I could hear some kids in the back whimpering and getting scared. And to be fair, they had every right to be scared. For a game series that now more than ever seems to directly aim for a younger market, this movie pushes that PG-13 rating. There's only a few swears, but the gore is pretty intense for the rating. Some are done more comedic, but there are two deaths in particular that are severely gruesome. Well, yes, much of the gore is just implied via shadows or is covered by something. There is one point where we see the grisly aftermath of a character after they were attacked, and oh boy, it's only for a second, but it's really nasty. There's also quite a bit of blood for a PG-13 movie, more than you'd expect. And don't give me that whole SpongeBob going over a tiny hill gif over this. This is no Game of Thrones level gore and violence, but for what the franchise is now, it's pretty insane to see what this movie was able to get away with. I could have very easily seen this in an R-rated cut. The rest of what I want to say will involve spoilers, so if you want to avoid that, skip to this time. 3, 2, 1, here we go. Okay, so every viewer knew that Matthew Lillard was Afton, right? No way anyone would have guessed anything different. So why did it save that for the end as some grand reveal? I really wished he was allowed to have more time to shine. I mean, he's only in the movie for, what, 5 minutes? He was amazing. Plus, his connection to Vanessa was a little poorly executed in my opinion. I think everyone expected Mike to be revealed as Afton's son, but they decided to go for this instead. I don't know, that didn't exactly sit right with me. The other thing is that Afton is able to command the robots? What exactly did that mean? That made the animatronics' motivations pretty unclear. I know that in the games they try to attack because they think you are the killer, but the idea that Afton can just make them attack is kind of not what I would call a good change. The actual ending of Abby using her drawings to let them realize the truth is nice, although the scene needed an extra minute or so to breathe instead of being so quick. I really liked the running joke at the balloon boy jump scare. That was actually hilarious. I also liked the cameo of Corey Kenshin, but not so much Matt Pats. Just having him be the waiter was enough. We didn't really need the theory line or the book with the Dream Theory title. It felt like a little too much of a hammer-in joke. Having the Living Tombstone FNAF song in the credits though, now that like actually almost made me cry. Gosh, this movie is a treasure for a FNAF fan. Overall, I'm really glad I got to see this movie. I'm so happy that it exists. You have no idea. Is the story perfect? No. Are the characters deep and complex? No. Is the film a groundbreaking movie achievement that made this stick with everyone for years? Also, no. But this is a love letter to a loyal fan base, and a treat for those who want to have some silly fun. Coming from a small indie game made by a man on his last legs as a game developer to a Hollywood blockbuster is no small feat. This movie is possibly one of my favorite films of all time. I could technically pick apart story and character and whatnot for hours, but we don't really care about that. If you're here watching my review, that means you care. You're a FNAF fan like me, and therefore, you know what this movie means for all of us. Have a scary good time with your Freddy Fazbear licensed pizza and your exotic butters. Here's to the planned trilogy. Go see it in theaters if you can. It needs to break some box office records. On a purely enjoyment scale, this movie gets a solid 10 out of 10. But if I rate it fairly as a critic, I'd give it 7 Funtime Fox Feets out of 10. But the enjoyment is what matters most. Thanks so much for watching my video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a fun comment. I try to respond to as many as I can. With all that said and done, I'll see you in the next one. And remember to smile. You are the face of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. See you on the flip side.